So let's take a look how you can add custom PHP code to your project. So one way is using the function action. So let's say we want to kind of insert something before our product display. So let's select single product div and then click on function, and then here we can select either there are a couple of presets, and for WooCommerce we also have a list of actions that you can manually trigger here. So for example, if we are using freestyle mode, and then as a result certain WooCommerce actions are not triggered in that layout, we can manually trigger them with this action. So what do we have? Let's try to add share. Although I don't think there are any actions hooked to that, but let's try. So where do we want to display it? So let's say we want to insert it before the product div. And if we take a look at the code, we should see it. So here is the div with single product, and now here is our do action for WooCommerce share. It gets inserted before the element, just as we said. So we said insert it before. We could also insert it after, we could replace, we could append it, and so on. Or this code could be used as background image, link, style, attribute. So we have a lot of options. But let's use insert before here. And let's export. And let's go to a product. Okay, so I guess there is nothing hooked to that. We would need like a share plugin for WooCommerce. And then the share widget would be displayed here. So sorry about the disappointing example. So that's one way to trigger WooCommerce actions. And we can also write custom code. So let's switch to custom code, and then, for example, we say echo my function. And again, let's view the code. This adds the code at the desired place. And if we have more like substantial code that we want to add, then the recommended approach is to use inc custom PHP. So we should open it in code editor, open in code editor, and then we can just like define our functions. That does something interesting. And then we can use the function smart action to call this code, to call this function from our layout. That's like the recommended approach. So let's say we want to overwrite a WooCommerce template, and a template that is not customizable through PineGrow. And we can see all sorts of templates in WooCommerce, for example, cart. Here it is. So imagine that we want to customize this to implement custom cart. So we can just, one way is to copy the file, and then we'll create it here. First we need a folder called WooCommerce. And the folder, now we have to see the name, so it has templates, and then cart PHP. Or actually, yeah, there is no templates subfolder, it's just WooCommerce and then the template. So in this case it will be WooCommerce cart PHP. So let's add new folder called cart, and let's add a new file, cart PHP. Now just create the file, so here it is, and then opening code editor, and let's paste the original code, and let's make a small change so that we can see what happens. Maybe here in the header, let's just write, instead of a blank space, let's say remove. Save, and then we have to export the theme, and with that, if we now check our theme folder and WooCommerce, the cart is here as well, our customized cart. And let's go to the browser and visit the cart page, and now it is using our customization. So why is this the recommended approach? Why not simply go into the exported folder and do edits here? Well, as mentioned before, if for some reason we want to clear the theme folder, then all our customizations would be lost. So that's why we have to do everything in the source project, even adding custom code, even adding custom templates, overriding custom templates. It should be done in the source project. That said, it's not necessary to use Pinegrow to edit PHP files. We can open this folder in any code editor and simply edit files there. And then when we export the project in Pinegrow, all files in this project will get copied to the export folder. So that's a way how to do it. For now I will delete this. This was just an example. Also the function from custom PHP, and let's remove this from here. So now our project is clean. So that's a way to add custom code. So let's just recap. If it's something small, we can use the function smart action, and if needed we can define functions or include other things in custom PHP. And if we want to manually override any of WooCommerce templates, we have to create WooCommerce folder and copy them then there and edit them from there in the source project. And then do WordPress export the theme whenever we want to kind of test our edits and our custom code. So okay, that's the way, and you can see the approach of Pinegrow and Pinegrow Shop Builder for WooCommerce. It's very open. We never limit our users into what they can do with our tools. So you can freely use your favorite code editors or your plugins or whatever else you want alongside Pinegrow. So next we will play with Design Panel to easily customize the overall design of our project.